All right. Welcome everyone to the El Toro La Liga show today. Obviously, um, it's been a very good week for me. I mean, it's very good weather, bloody hot these days here in Spain. We finally got the time change and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, before we get started, please do hit the like button on the stream, subscribe to the channel right here, follow me on X on Twitter, and obviously we'll be doing some review and preview actually. But yeah, before we get started, please do hit the like button and subscribe. And obviously, vote in the live poll. There are two games that I could be doing a live watch along for. I know I didn't do a live watch along this past weekend, and the reason why was because I decided to go out with my friends to the park because bloody hell, it was nice. It was warm. I'm like, I need to have the weather. It was so nice over the weekend and over the past few days. Though the weather this coming week ain't that good, but yeah, it's going to be a fantastic show today. Obviously, get your thoughts and your opinions in the live chat as well. As we will get started, we'll first review the Copa del Rey. The Copa del Rey happened the past couple of days, yesterday and Tuesday night. And we have our Copa del Rey final. It was probably the one we all expected, I would say. It's Real Madrid and Barcelona meeting in the final of the Copa del Rey on the 26th of April. I know they didn't put the time, but it's likely going to be 9 or 10 o'clock at night or in the evening in Spain. That will be the Copa del Rey final. Barcelona, Real Madrid, El Clasico. Once again, I might be doing a live watch along for that and doing a big preview on that on the channel when the time comes. But yeah, Real Madrid, Sociedad, just a quick preview. I'm not going in depth on it because there's games I have to preview and all. Real Madrid, Sociedad, it ended 4-4, just like how Athletic Barca ended 4-4 in the first leg. This one ended 4-4 in the second leg of Real Madrid, Sociedad. It went to extra time, and it was Antonio Rudiger getting the winning goal for Real Madrid when Sociedad scored in practically the last minute to take it into extra time. But unfortunately, Sociedad are once again eliminated in the semifinals. So too are Atletico Madrid. Both teams that made the semifinals last season, that being Real Sociedad and Atletico Madrid, were both knocked out by Mallorca and Athletic Club last season in the semifinals. They've been knocked out again, both of them, in the semifinals of the Copa del Rey. This time to probably, you could say, better opposition this time. Barcelona and Real Madrid are in the final to play each other, whereby both of these teams, we'll talk about them when we discuss a little bit more on the preview of the games. We'll talk about it very shortly. There is a potential we could get, there's a possibility we could have a historic treble for which either of Real Madrid or Barcelona wins the Copa del Rey. That will set them on course to possibly win La Liga because they seem to be the only two teams now left competing in it, and the Champions League, which, you know, I know it's still pretty early, it's in the quarterfinal, but there is that possibility that it could happen. But yeah, that is Real Madrid Sociedad. As for Atletico Barcelona, wasn't the prettiest game, but Barcelona did get the win overall. in the day, and I think they deserve the win. And I think we probably got the final that we all expected. I'm not as hyped about it. I think I'm more hyped if this was the Champions League final or the league game, because I feel like that's, a big one. But the Copa del Rey is definitely going to be a big one, obviously. But it will be played in Seville, so it's not going to be played in Madrid or Barcelona. So yeah, that is the Copa del Rey review of the games that happened over in the midweek. Now it is time, as I load up my page. We do have the La Liga now. We're going to be talking about La Liga. We're back in La Liga at last. Let me just sort things out. All right. Hopefully it's not that bad. All right. First game starts tomorrow. We have Rayo Vallecano against Espanyol. Both of these sides picking up decent-ish results, I believe. I don't particularly remember Espanyol's result, but I think they got a draw in their game against Atleti. So actually, it was actually a good result. They picked up a draw against Atleti. Rayo, they finally got a win for the first time in a while as well. So both these teams in a pretty good, decent position heading into their match tomorrow night at 9 o'clock in Vallecas. Obviously, I actually recently been there. Not for a vlog or whatever, but I've seen the stadium twice. I haven't actually gone to a Vallecano game, and I do have a Rayo Vallecano shirt with me. Maybe one day I might go to a Rayo Vallecano game. But yeah, the win probability is 55% for Rayo to win, 27% for a draw, and 18% for an Espanyol win. Now, when you look at the table, particularly for both of them, but we'll first talk about Rayo. Now, here's the thing that I haven't discussed so far on this show is that since Real Madrid and Barcelona, they both play each other in the Copa del Rey final, and they're both almost, I would say, even they're certain to be in the Champions League next season, which means that the Copa del Rey spot that usually goes into the Europa League, that will be dropped down in the league position from 5th to 6th. However, La Liga is potentially going to get the extra 5th spot, the European not playoff spot or whatever, but basically there'll be, instead of 4 teams from La Liga in next season Champions League, we will almost likely and even certainly will get 5 La Liga teams in the Champions League next season, which means that from the Copa del Rey 6th place spot goes down to 7th, and obviously there is Conference League, it will be dropped down to 8th, almost certainly. So what that means is that Rayo Vallecano, based on their league position right now, are going into the Europa League, which is fucking crazy to think about. And obviously, we'll talk about, and that means there's the battle of Villarreal and Betis for that final Champions League spot. It seems like Athletic Club and Atletico are probably just going to finish in 3rd and 4th, whichever way it finishes. But they'll both get Champions League, it seems like. Villarreal and Betis probably going to be the ones competing for the Champions League or Europa League, 5th and 6th. And seems like it's a huge battle for 7th and 8th place, which is currently Rayo Vallecano, who we're talking about, is in that 7th place spot. Celta in 8th, unfortunately. But yeah, Rayo finally getting themselves the first win in a long while, over a month and a half ago, I believe. Meanwhile, Espanyol, look, not amazing form, but form that they could potentially be picking up. They do have a game in hand, which they play Villarreal. So that's going to be a huge one. But even though they are only 2 points above the relegation zone, 3 points ahead of Las Palmas, who we'll talk about them later. About the little shit, anyway. So some match stats heading into this game. Rayo Vallecano have won 3 of the last 7 home games against Espanyol. So it's a pretty good record they have against them at home. Espanyol have won their last 2 games against Rayo. Actually, only once between 2002 and 2012. And they've not gone 3 in a row against Rayo. So it's the stats do favor Rayo at the moment, especially the history of it. Rayo have scored in each of the last 16 games against Espanyol, which is actually their longest scoring streak they have. So you do expect Rayo to get a goal in this game. They won 2-0 away from home against Alavés in the last La Liga fixture, that being Vallecano. But their longest winless run at home this season is the current one, 2 draws and a loss. So they haven't won a game in 3. Rayo. Having lost 8 of the 10 games between September and December, Espanyol have only lost 3 of the last 13 games in all competitions. 3 wins, 7 draws, so not amazing, but they're actually doing quite well and have scored exactly 1 goal in each of the last 8 league games as of now. So look, heading into this fixture seems to favor Rayo. I think the win away at Alavés did help Rayo a lot, and I think it will probably, now knowing that 7th place or even 8th place for Rayo will get them European football, which I think will be the very first time ever they will get it. I think they will probably push for it. As for Espanyol, they're decent, they're good, but I just feel like Rayo are probably going to have just a bit too much for them. And I'm going with a 2-1 Rayo Vallecano win. I just think that Rayo, as I said, probably have the momentum on them at the moment. Let me also sort this sort of stuff out. But yeah, I do think Rayo will get the win. 2-1, I'm predicting in that one. Now, the next game. Let me sort this out. All right. The next game we have here, it is Girona against Alavés on Saturday, 2 o'clock. It's one of the potential live watch-alongs I could do this weekend. Now, win probability, 46% for Girona, 28 for a draw, 26 for Alavés win. Now, if you look at the table, Girona, as I said, I don't think they'll get European football. I just think they've not been that good, and they've been winless in the past 7 games, including losing against Barcelona 4-1. Alavés losing at home to Rayo, who we talked about, are in big danger now, Alavés. So you never know, and they need to be picking up points here. And this is a big opportunity, though it is away from home. Some match insights. Girona are unbeaten in the last 3 games against Alavés. That's pretty good. Alavés won only 2 of the last 15 away games against Girona in all competitions. So again, it's not looking good for Alavés. Girona have scored in each of the last 7 games against Alavés, 12 goals in total. And once again, they have a very good scoring record against Alavés in La Liga. Girona have not won any of the last 7 La Liga games, as I said. Not gone 8 in a row in La Liga since 2019, when they went 10 games without a win. Alavés have drawn their last 3 away games in La Liga, the best unbeaten away run this season, but they haven't drawn 4 in a row ever. Prediction on this, look, I think that Girona not been that great this season, but I do think that Alavés could get maybe a result, maybe like a 1-1. I'm going with a 1-1 draw here. That's my prediction on that. I just think that overall that Girona are probably not as great, and I just think it will just end in a draw. I'm just going to say that a 1-1 draw between Girona and Alavés. Let me just quickly look now on the poll. Right now, only 1 vote, but Girona Alavés is the current leading poll position at the moment. Next up, we have is Real Madrid against Valencia. Obviously, these two met in the first game of 2025 in La Liga, that being a very, very surprising 2-1 away win for Real Madrid, because Valencia did bottle it at that time. Valencia, since then, been a better position, though. 74% for a Real Madrid win, 16% for a draw, and 10% chance for Valencia. And Valencia's record against the top 3 in La Liga this season is absolutely terrible. Real Madrid obviously are the main ones trying to compete with Barcelona for that league title, and it seems like it will be between the 2 of them. As for Valencia, as I said, look, unbeaten in the last 4, won the previous game, obviously, and it seems like at the moment, Valencia have really risen up the ranks in La Liga, and it seems like they're doing quite well, even though I feel like they will draw up points. They'll probably lose this game. in my opinion. Now, some match stats heading into this. Real Madrid have not lost any of the last 16 home games against Valencia. The best unbeaten one against Valencia in their entire history, and I think that will be extended. I'll be honest. Valencia have lost their last 6 away games against Real Madrid, as I said. In that, following a 2-1 win, as I said earlier, at the Mestalla since New Year, Real Madrid can achieve the double over Valencia in the same La Liga season for only the second time in 13. The last time they did it was 21-22 season under Carlo Ancelotti. I think that might happen, I'll be honest. Real Madrid have suffered only one home defeat in La Liga in the last 2 seasons. 28 wins, 4 draws. The only one was that 4-0 home loss, humiliation against Barcelona in October 2024. They actually have the best record in the past 2 seasons of any team in the top 5 European leagues. Valencia have not lost any of the last 4 La Liga games. They have not gone 5 in a row unbeaten since October 2022. So my opinion on this game, look, I do think that Real Madrid just have the quality over them, even though Valencia could cause some trouble. But I just think that that Real Madrid will probably have the quality to overcome this Valencia team. I'll be honest, I might go with a comfortable win for Real Madrid. I'm going with a 3-0 comfortable win for Real Madrid. Maybe people don't like that, but I think Real Madrid will win 3-0 against Valencia. I'll be honest. All right. Next up, and also let's get to the comments. AD744, finally. I don't know if you'll actually be in the chat for a while, but please do vote in the poll if you haven't already. Now, getting back to it, we have is Mallorca against Celta Vigo. Both teams competing for that European potential Conference League, even Europa League spot. And it couldn't be any closer. 36% Mallorca, 30 for a draw, 34 for Celta. So yeah, look, scroll a bit down in the table. Now, remember what I said, that 8th place in La Liga is almost, I'll say, certain to get Conference League football, which means that the battle for even 7th with Rayo Vallecano is crucial. It does help teams like Sociedad or even Sevilla potentially get into Europe. So Celta Vigo away at Mallorca is a huge one in the race for European football. Now, obviously, as a Deportivo La Coruña fan, I want Mallorca to destroy Celta. So we'll see about that. But Celta on a very good run of form, though. They did draw at home against Las Palmas in the game on Monday. Mallorca, they did lose, but look, they're still in a very good. They still have a very good season, but there's a chance they could get into European football, and both have identical records as well. At the same time, and both are chasing European football. Mallorca have not lost any of the last 7 home games against Celta, 4 wins, 3 draws. And if they avoid defeat, they'll record the best ever unbeaten one against Celta in the top flight. Now, following a 2-0 win at the Balados in December 2024, Celta Vigo could achieve the double in the same La Liga season for only the 3rd time in history. The last one being in 2001-2 and 2002-3. So back-to-back seasons that time. Mallorca have not lost any of the last 4 home games in La Liga. 2 wins, 2 draws, having lost 3 of the previous 5. The longest unbeaten one at home so far. Celta Vigo have not lost the last 7 La Liga games, and have not gone 8 in a row without defeat since October 2015, in which, unfortunately, but I'll say it with a bit of unbiased, with open heart, I guess, that season, 2015-16, Celta Vigo eventually made it into the Europa League, so they got into Europe. So similar parallels there. Mallorca are the only team in La Liga to have scored 100% of the goals inside the box, so they do not score screamers. I guess you could say that. But yeah, my prediction on this game, look, both are in a very good run of form, even though I said Mallorca just lost. I could see this being a draw here. I just think both will try to cancel each other out. Let's go with a decent 1-1 draw. I'll go with a 1-1 draw between Mallorca and Celta Vigo. That'll be my prediction. 1-1 in that one. Oh, this is going to be tough. Oh, Saturday night football, 9 o'clock here in Spain. Obviously, we do have is a Barcelona against Real Betis. Now, obviously, these are the two most informed teams in La Liga. I do not remember the last time either of these teams lost. That's how long it's been. So we could either have a loser or a winner or a draw. Now, the win probability is 71% for Barcelona, 16% for a draw, and 13% for a Betis win. Now, Barcelona, obviously, are 3 points ahead of Real Madrid on the same number of points. If Real Madrid were to win and Barcelona were to, let's say, lose, they would be on the same number of points with 8 games to go. Now, Real Betis, at the moment, are also competing for that European spot, not just European football, Champions League football. The GOAT, Anthony, could actually do it for Real Betis. That would be an amazing achievement for Betis if they were to do it. And they are in a very good run of form. Obviously, they've won, I think, the last 6 games, unbeaten in the last 7-8 games, I believe. So they're in a good run of form, Betis. No need to scroll down. They're both good. But yeah, some of the match stats. Barcelona have won 19 of the last 23 games against Betis, with 2 draws, 2 losses. So they actually have a good record against Betis. Betis have won 2 of the last 6 away games against Barcelona in La Liga. So there's some history that Betis could do something. Barcelona have won the last 2 home games against Betis in La Liga, scoring a total of 9 goals, one of them being in the Copa del Rey, I believe, a 5-1 win or a 5-2 win, something like that. So they have a good record so far this season against them, I believe. Though they did draw 2-2 early in the season. Barcelona have won the last 9 games in La Liga, the longest run under a single coach since March 2016 when they had Luis Enrique. Now, Betis have won the last 6 La Liga games, as I said, and if they were to win, they would record their longest ever winning streak in La Liga, which was also, which at the time was 6 wins in a row in 1934, 1960, and 2018. So Betis could achieve history here at the Montjuic. Now, my prediction, mate, of course, I will say this for every fucking game. I think that Betis get the win here. I just have a funny feeling. Upper Betty, come on. So I'm going with, let's go for it. I'm going 2-1 Betis. Let's go. Betis to achieve the, you could say, impossible. I don't know. It's not really impossible because there's been teams that beat Barca at their ground. So I'm going 2-1 Betis in that one. Next up we have is Las Palmas against Real Sociedad, which is in the live watch long poll. There's still only 1 vote, so who knows how that goes. But yeah, Las Palmas against Sociedad. The win probability, it says 29% Las Palmas, 30% for a draw, 41% for a Sociedad win. Now, with the, as I said, we'll first talk about Sociedad since they're a little bit higher in the table. Yes, they're 10th, but there's a possibility that they could even jump up to 7th if results go their way. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but Sociedad are obviously out of the Europa League, out of Europe, basically. But they could get into Europe again for the 3rd consecutive season in a row, I believe, or 4th. So yeah, Sociedad in a potential, they've gotten a lifeline. The fact that the top 8 in La Liga are almost certainly going into Europe, so they have a decent chance. Sociedad, and they got a 4-4 draw away at the Bernabeu. I know they lost, or didn't advance to the final of the Copa del Rey, but who knows? That might sting in their tail. Who knows? Meanwhile, we score a bit down to Las Palmas. Las Palmas are, and we're in fucking April. They have not won a fucking game this fucking year. Las Palmas have won 0 games in all competitions in 2025. They are really bad. They are I know they've gotten 3 draws in the last 4, but those aren't wins. They have to be picking up wins now, Las Palmas. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know. I do think the more I see of Las Palmas every now and then, I just think that they're getting relegated. Like, I feel like there has to be now a change of manager, just like they did earlier in the season. Change of manager, picked up very, very famous results, including a win away at Barcelona. But that's been a fuck ton ago. That's centuries ago, basically. From where Las Palmas are right now, they haven't won a game this fucking year. They haven't won a game, and we're in fucking April. They're fucking somehow worse than Valladolid. Valladolid at least has a win under their name. Now, how is that even possible? How is that possible? How can Las Palmas be as shit as Valladolid? I have no idea. And I don't know. I the more I think about it, I do think they'll get relegated. But some of the insights, some stats heading into this, Las Palmas, as I said, have not won any of the last 7 matches against Sociedad. 3 draws, 4 losses. Failed to score in the last 4. They can't even score against this Sociedad team, who aren't that great this year. Sociedad have not lost any of the last 3 away games against Las Palmas, as we said before, and keeping a clean sheet in all 3. So there's a good opportunity for Sociedad to really pick up form at the most crucial moment this stage of the season, when European football could still be in the Ayuneta. Now, Las Palmas have won 17 of the last 32 home games against Sociedad. Not really a most relevant stat there. But as I said, Las Palmas have not won any of the last 11 games in La Liga in 2025, and they are the only team that have yet to win since 2025. It's been a shit year for Las Palmas. Now, Sociedad have not won on any of the last 6 La Liga away games, the longest winless one since April 2019, when it was 7. So they could match it, unfortunately, if they don't win here. Now, my prediction on this: the more I see of Las Palmas, the more I think they're going down. This is the game they fucking turn up now. But I'm going with a Sociedad win. I just think it might be a bit comfortable for them. I will be honest with you. I'm going with a 3-0. I actually do think they'll really wrap it up against Las Palmas. I'm going with a 3-0 away win for Sociedad. That is my prediction. 3-0 to Real Sociedad. Now, obviously, next up, we do have is Sevilla against Atletico Madrid. Now, obviously, get up to the comments. No filter FC, Charlie. Big up. Las Palmas are gone. Yeah, it seems like it. And obviously, I know, Charlie, you said you did a vlog or upcoming video on something about a trip you did in España. But yeah, looking forward to whenever that is uploaded. But yeah, big up to Charlie and big up to AD early in the chat as well. And please do vote in the live poll as well. Now, let's actually get back into it. We have Sevilla against Atletico Madrid in La Liga. Now, obviously, Atleti are in probably the worst couple 2-3 weeks of their lives. Sevilla, they lost the derby to Betis, which is no surprise because they played the GOAT, Anthony. Goatini, not McGoatini, Goatini. But yeah, the win probability, 28% for a Sevilla win, 29% for a draw, 43% for Atleti win. But when you look at Atleti's form, 2 losses, a draw, got knocked out of the Copa del Rey last night. Obviously got knocked out of the Champions League, though that's pretty much irrelevant now. Atleti, it feels like this season's really, really come to a halt, and it seems like they'll go trophyless. But yeah, it's probably likely they're just going to finish in 3rd, maybe 4th if they're really bad. But yeah, it seems like there's nothing left to play for them. Even though, yes, they are 9 points behind Barca and maybe have that slight chance, but I just think it's over. It is Joe ever for them. Meanwhile, for Sevilla, it's not really Joe ever for them. They could actually get into Europe. Because, look, I know they lost the last 2 games, but they actually have been pretty decent this year. Sevilla, they're only 4 points off Europa League football, which we all know what Sevilla do when they're in that competition. But if they're in the Champions League or Conference League, they're fucked. But if it's Europa League football somehow for Sevilla, if they finish, it seems like likely 7th, then, I mean, early prediction, Sevilla will win the Europa League. But yeah, Sevilla do have a chance to get into Europe, believe it or not. Though it's looking unlikely, I feel like, but that's still that chance. There's still that chance. Now, some match insights heading into it. Sevilla have lost 4 of the last 5 games against Atleti, 1 win. Now, obviously, I remember they played each other 4-3 at the Metropolitano, which I did go with a certain someone in the chat. Where place Spain was, loved it, recommended anyone watching to visit. Sevilla winning the Europa League, water is wet. Wet ass. Anyways, Atleti have won only just 1 of the last 6 away games against Sevilla, so not a great record they have. And obviously, as I said, they did beat them 4-3 at the Metropolitano back in December. Atleti do have the chance to go do the double against Sevilla, only for the 4th time in the Simeone era, last one being in 22-23 season. Sevilla have lost the last 2 games in La Liga and could suffer the longest winning streak this campaign. They have yet to lose 3 in a row. This could be a danger for Sevilla in their hopes of getting only Europa League football. Atleti are winless in the last 3 La Liga games, so the longest since November 2022, actually. So, look, when we get into it, I feel like this is a huge opportunity for either side to either get into Europe or finally pick up some form. It's been a while since we've seen Atleti win a game of football, so I'm probably going with I'll go with an Atleti win, but I think it won't be pretty. I'll probably go with a 1-0 scoreline on Sunday. 1-0 to Atleti. Next up, we have the derby of boring or garbage or shit. I'll be honest. Excuse the language to any Valladolid or Getafe fans. But I'll be honest, I have no interest in this game. I have no interest in this game, but I have to talk about it. Valladolid 20%. How's Valladolid been terrible? 20% for a win, 30% for a draw, 50% for Getafe win. So a big opportunity for Getafe. Look, Getafe, similar position to Sevilla, but I'll be honest, I think Sevilla, Getafe, Girona, and everyone else, from basically the bottom half of the table, I don't think we'll get any European football. I think from Sociedad in 10th all the way up, or the actual teams actually genuinely over the consistent remaining 9 or so games of the season will get European football. Getafe, I just don't think are that good. Meanwhile, Valladolid, or even fucking worse, 4 wins all season, minus 46 goal difference. They are, I think they're even worse than Southampton. I don't remember Southampton's goal difference, but 19 goals all season is fucking terrible from Valladolid. But I'll be honest, right? This is a typical game that Valladolid win. I don't know why, but look. Here's the stat for you. Valladolid have not lost any of the last 9 home games against Getafe and La Liga. That already explains it. 4 wins, 5 draws. Now, Getafe have played 11 away matches against Valladolid and have yet to win. Only Barcelona they've done that and not win, surprisingly. After the win at the Colosseum, not the one in Rome, but the one in Getafe, the neighborhood in Madrid, in November 2024, earlier this season, Getafe could do the double for the first time ever over Valladolid. To be honest, there's a good opportunity they could do that. Valladolid have failed to win any of the last 10 La Liga matches, losing 9 of them. That tells you everything about them. Getafe have won 5 of the last 6 away games, only losing once. That was against Leganés, their big rivals. So yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know why. I just have that feeling that this could be a 1-0 Valladolid win. It has it all written over it, all over it. Spurs at Stamford Bridge tonight. Inevitable result. 7-0 Chelsea. If Vigo get into Europe, oh god. I'm hoping Mallorca win, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know, for the fucking first time ever this season, I'm going with a Valladolid win. I'm going 1-0 Valladolid. I don't know why. I just think they fucking somehow turn up. Now, 2 more games to go. 2 more games to go. This one's a big one, actually. We have here is Villarreal against Athletic Club. Villarreal against Athletic Club on a Sunday night, 9 o'clock kickoff. Now, obviously, as I said, please do vote in the live poll as well for anyone that's watching. If you haven't voted, what game I should do a live watch along for. Villarreal against Athletic Club. Villarreal at 42%, 28% for a draw, 30% for Athletic win. Now, both of them are 4th and 5th, but obviously, it does seem like Athletic Club will get the Champions League spot. Though, I will be honest, should Villarreal get the home win against Athletic Club and they win the game in hand, Villarreal will be on the same number of points as Athletic Club. And that would spell huge trouble for Athletic and potentially even Betis. So Villarreal have a huge opportunity. They could be the big winners this weekend if they were to beat Athletic Club. And Athletic Club have only lost 4 games all season. So that tells you everything for you to know about Athletic this season. Now, obviously, both of them have been pretty good this season. But they obviously played each other back in December, and Athletic Club did get the win at San Mamés. Now, some match stats heading into it. Villarreal have only won 1 of the last 12 meetings against Athletic Club in La Liga, 6 draws, 5 losses. The last time being a 5-1 victory in May 2023 under Quique Setién, which was actually the biggest win against Athletic in the top flight. Athletic Club have collected points in 6 of the last 7 away games against Villarreal, 2 wins, 4 draws, and obviously that loss earlier, which we just talked about. Villarreal have drawn 16 of the last 49 games against Athletic Club, so they do have a draw record against Athletic. Villarreal have scored at least 1 goal in the last 20 home games in La Liga, 47 goals. So they actually haven't managed to do it 21 in a row in the home stadium. So possibilities they could get a result here. Only Osasuna have drawn more games than Athletic Club, including drawing 2 of the last 3 games for Athletic. So Athletic, look, they've kind of struggled in terms of picking up some points in the past month, I would say. But I do think they might get the win here. I think it will. If Athletic Club ought to win this game against Villarreal, I do think that 110% secures European Champions League, not just European Champions League football. Did you watch that Tonali goal yesterday? Oh, I mean, yes, I did watch it back, obviously, and he did score an amazing, one of the best goals I've ever seen. Woo! Really good goal. My goat, my Italian stallion, delivering as usual. But yeah, as I said, Athletic Club, if they beat Villarreal, that's 110% secures Champions League football, almost certain. If Villarreal win, they would almost have the momentum to get that Champions League football ahead of potentially Betis, and who fucking knows. It would probably drag Athletic Club into a potential banana skin, because the Athletic Club still have to play Real Madrid and Barcelona in the run-up to the end of La Liga. So there's a slight possibility on Athletic Club. You never know. But I'm going with I'll go with an Athletic Club win here. I think it'll be I'll go with a 2-1 Athletic Club win. I just think that they have a good record against Villarreal. I think they will get it done. 2-1 for Athletic Club. Now, the final game on the Monday, there is no match stats heading into it, but both teams have been pretty shit usually. But yeah, next up we have is the final game on Monday night. It is Leganés against Osasuna. Oh, and obviously, as Charlie from No Filter FC says, please do hit the like button on the stream. And as I said, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, the next game, as I said, the final one actually, is Leganés against Osasuna. Now, both of these teams have been pretty shit. I'll be honest, 36% for Leganés win, 34 draw, 34 for Osasuna win. I can't really call it. I'll be honest, there's a bit of interest. Osasuna, look, they've been fucking terrible. Though they did get a draw in their last game against Athletic Club, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or Atletico. Actually, my mind sometimes forgets things. But yeah, Osasuna, look, I don't think they're in real danger of getting relegated. It's like the same feeling I have with Girona and Getafe and Sevilla. I just think that they'll just finish where they are. Maybe a bit lower, but yeah, Osasuna, I don't think are in genuine actual danger of relegation unless like the teams, all 6, 5, 7, 6, 7 teams below Osasuna get back-to-back wins and Osasuna lose back-to-back games. That's the only way I can see it, but that's not going to happen because Leganés are terrible. But yeah, Leganés are in the relegation zone by head-to-head actually against Alavés and goal difference. So it is crucial that they get a win here. As for Osasuna, it is crucial they also get a win because, they don't fucking win, But yeah, heading into this, obviously there's no match stats heading into it, but my thoughts on this is I do think that Leganés might get a result, and the fact that Osasuna are just known for getting draws, they're basically draw FC in La Liga. I could see this being a draw. I'm going with the most boring 0-0 draw in existence. 0-0. That's my prediction. 0-0 draw. That's what I'm saying. 0-0. But yeah, that is it for the preview of the games in La Liga. Now it is time, as I said, as I always do in this show, is the El Toro de la Semana, the bowl of the week. Unless you're Anthony, the GOAT of the week. But who wins this time? Who wins this time? The El Toro de la Semana. I have to go with a Betis player. They got that derby win, carried on their good form. I'm going with Chucho Hernandez. Scored technically the winner. He did score the winning goal against Sevilla. Had a very good performance against against the big rival Sevilla. Home derby win. Chucho Hernandez is the El Toro de la Semana of this weekend, of this past weekend. So yet again, Betis players are cooking. Champions League football, I fear them. I will fear them. Now, obviously, I have to sort some things out. Let me just... would that work? All right. Not sure. Have I... Is it that one? Okay. All right. Let me quickly sort things out quickly as we review, and not really a preview, but we'll talk about the Segunda, the second tier of Spanish football, as usual. Let me just share. All right, so we just finished game week 33, match day 33 in the Segunda, and it's as tight as ever, just as tight as your mom. I'm kidding. It's just a joke, guys. It's a joke. So yeah, recap on the results. Tenerife getting a 2-1 home win against Granada. So Tenerife are picking up form when it's probably too late for them. Eldense Burgos 0-0 draw. Pretty boring, that one. Deportivo La Coruña, thank fuck, we beat Racing Ferrol as I expected. Yeremai getting the game-winning goal as usual, just like he did when I actually went in the game in September. So yeah, a big win for us, and we are unbeaten, though not really amazingly unbeaten. We have Cartagena. They did bottle a 2-goal lead against Castellón. They had the 2-goal lead, loss, or not loss, but in a 2-2 draw against Castellón. Racing Santander beat Real Zaragoza. Huge win for Racing Santander. I mean, I've talked about Zaragoza this season. Charlie from No Filter FC had the pleasure of watching them play Cordoba in Madrid. Well, not I know they're not in Madrid, but watched the game on TV. Amazing. Almeria getting a 1-0 win over, at the time, top of the table, Levante, a huge win for Almeria in trying to get into the playoff. Huge blow for Levante. Elche are the new leaders of the Segunda. You'll see the table, picking up a 2-1 away win at Cordoba, which Charlie had the pleasure of watching. At the same time, Real Oviedo also picked up a huge win for themselves, a 2-1 win against Malaga, who are rumored to potentially be owned by the PSG owners as well. Huesca, a big game and a very good win for them. A 3-2 win over Sporting Gijon. Sporting Gijon have really been underwhelming this season. We also have Albacete beating Mirandes in probably the shock of the weekend, I would say. Mirandes obviously in a very good spot still at the moment of getting at least the top 6. But, the automatic promotion push did affect them. And obviously, Levante and Mirandes both lost, and they were in the top 2 before this game week. And Cadiz, Eibar, nothing said, 0-0, fucking boring. Now, the game's heading into match day 34, so we're only 9 games to go or something. We have Castellón against Albacete tomorrow night. We have Eibar against Real Oviedo. We have Cartagena against Eldense. Granada against Almeria, so both teams from La Liga last season. Sporting Gijon against Tenerife. We have Zaragoza hosting Mirandes. Now, this is the big one. I would probably say it is Levante against Racing Santander. Both teams fighting to get into not the playoffs, but the automatic promotion spot. So a win for either would be very, very huge in the case of getting automatic promotion. We also have Burgos against Huesca. We have Malaga playing against Cordoba, so a Andalusian matchup. Deportivo, we play on Sunday night. Fucking amazing, because I can't go. It's Deportivo against Cadiz on Sunday. And then I believe to wrap it up, we have Elche playing against probably one of the worst ever teams that's not Cartagena. It's Elche playing against Ferrol on Monday Night Football. And obviously we have the games afterwards as well. Now let's check the league table. Quickly. Oh, wait. So here's the league table. Let's only show the top 6 at the moment. Actually, top 7, because that does make sense a bit more. Here is your top 7. Now, as I said, only the top 2 get on my promotion, and 3rd, 4th, 5th. Oh, I'm like 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th gets into the playoff. Now, Elche and Levante are the teams now occupying the top 2 spots. Racing Santander only really by goal difference, I'll be honest. And they play Levante, so it's the game of the weekend. Racing Santander, Mirandes, or pretty much, it seems like those 4 are in a bit of a lock of getting into at least the top 6. Who knows? Huesca in 5th, 4 points behind Mirandes. Oviedo also 4 points behind, but both of them, Huesca and Oviedo, got wins, including Almeria as well. And Almeria are just out of the playoffs at the moment in 7, only a point behind. So it's anyone's game. It seems like at the moment, and including, I'm actually going to add to this, Almeria play Granada, and I think if there's a win for Almeria, I think that ends Granada's chances of getting into the top 6, into the playoff spot. So I think it is a genuine battle amongst to get the top 6. Potentially it could be 7. But if Granada win, they will be in a good shout of getting into the playoff. Albacete in a good run of form somehow. The same thing with Burgos. And here we are, Deportivo La Coruña, unbeaten. Yay. But we have to be picking up wins here. And we do play Cadiz, and who knows? We did beat them like 5-2 at their ground, so who knows? But at home was somehow terrible. Not terrible, but not amazingly consistent. But yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think we'll get relegated. Now, We do play Cardiff, who are just below us in 12th. You have Eibar unbeaten as well in 13th. So you have that. And Cordoba as well, 45 points. So everyone's in amongst it. As I said, Malaga on 42 points, so 3 points behind 14th place Cordoba in 15th, that being Malaga, as I said. Sporting Gijon, a point behind them. In 16th, Castellon at the same number of points at 41. And then Real Zaragoza still haven't won a fucking game and are trying their best to get relegated somehow. And then I'll say this. Tenerife, because it's the bottom four, as I always said, it's the bottom four. So 19, 20, 21, 22 all get relegated. If Tenerife somehow survive relegation, that would be fucking amazing. Because that would most likely mean that Zaragoza got relegated. Now, I don't want Zaragoza to get relegated, but I mean, they're doing their best to actually make that happen. But yeah, it seems, I'll be honest, who are the actual teams fighting for that relegation spot or not avoiding that relegation? I think I'll still be honest. I think Castellon are still in trouble. I know, look, Malaga, Sporting Gijon, maybe, but I just think they have a bit more quality. I think Castellon, Zaragoza, Eldense, and maybe a 0.1% chance Tenerife. But it seems like Tenerife are gone still, even though they won 3 of the last 4 games. Now, Racing Ferrol and Cartagena, forget about, who cares? They're gone. They're finished. They're both terrible and they're gone. They're getting relegated. I'll be honest. I think their seasons are finished because for Cartagena to get into safety, they would have to have at least, they have to gain 20 points in the next 9 games. That's almost certainly not going to happen. Even though they got back-to-back draws, one of them being against Deportivo, as usual. And you have Racing Ferrol, I know 6 points ahead of Cartagena. I don't know who's worse. Who's worse, Ferrol or Cartagena? I don't know. They're both terrible, regardless. Only 4 wins all season for both. But at least we got a win against one of them, and that being Ferrol. So I'd probably take that. But yeah, that is actually it for the Segunda. Now, that's it for actually this show as well. Let me also end the live poll. I think we only had 1 vote. So it is going to be only 1 person vote, but you did make that crucial vote. It will be Girona against Alavés is the game I'm doing a live watch along for. That is on, I have to check the timing of that game. I think it's on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday at 2 o'clock Spain time. So I'll be doing a live watch along for Girona against Alavés at 2 o'clock. So yeah, that's going to be a big one there. Now, as I said, that concludes the end of the show. Obviously, thank you guys so much for watching, and big up to the people in the chat, that being AD744 and No Filter FC. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, please do hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on X, on Twitter. And yeah, it's been a good show. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. I promise I will be on. I promise. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.